How many things do you put off until one day? You think, I'll get that done one day. I'll do this inside my business one day. You know that these things will help you grow your business, but you keep putting them off for the elusive one day. Well, that's what we're talking about on the podcast today. So join me today to talk about one day. Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small,
Hey there, podcast family. Welcome to episode 64 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know you have lots of dresses out there, and I sincerely appreciate you making me one of them. If you're a first-time listener, then hey, welcome to you. I'm so pleased to have you here. I am the host, Jen Donovan, and it's my job via this podcast and my social media and my Facebook groups to actually help you make your business life simpler, because I know business can be lonely, it can be a little bit hard, it can be fairly complicated, and it's rarely easy. But it definitely should be simple or a little bit simpler. So that's my commitment to you here on the Small Business Made Simple podcast. One way I can help, of course, make your life a little bit simpler is giving you a community where you can ask questions and join in conversations and just really hang out with other like-minded business owners. And surprisingly, it's actually in my Facebook group called Like-Minded Business Owners. If you haven't joined, then pop over to Facebook, search Like-Minded Business Owners and join in the fun there. Otherwise, of course, the link will be in the show notes at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/64 for this episode. Before we hop into our one-day talk, just wondering, have you downloaded my 108 social media content creation ideas yet? My free ebook that's all about basically 108 things that you can put on social media. If you're struggling with social media and content creation, or even just ideas, then this free ebook is definitely for you. It can literally change the way you do social media. You can get it at 108social.com.au, so that's 108social.com.au, and download it there. But if you do, you have to promise me that you will actually open it, read it, and print it out and put it somewhere so it can inspire you when you are doing social media. When you just think, oh my God, what on earth can I post? Then you will look at this list and find the inspiration that you need. Okay, so promise me, pinky promise, that you'll do that. All right, so today I wanted to chat to you about one day, and I've actually got my fingers going for inverted commas here. So every time I say one day, think of it in inverted commas. It's not about taking one day at a time. It's actually waiting for one day that I want to talk to you about. I'm not a one day kind of girl. For anyone who knows me, they pretty much know this. I'm a do now, see where I land, and I'll fix it as I'm flying along. You know, that's who I am. Waiting until one day has never really sat very well with me. I actually dated my now husband of 23 years for 7 years before we got married. It became a bit of a running joke that we would get married one day, and the joke got old very, very quickly. For me, it was, well, we need to do it now or I'm off. I'm off to discover the world, so it's now, it's not one day. And luckily, we are now discovering the world together for the last 30 odd years. But I think it's around that time that this waiting for one day really started to turn sour for me. So I wanted to talk to you today about what's on your one day list. What will you do when the timing's right, when everything's perfect, and when you've got all your ducks in that neat little row, in that neat little organized row? What is it that you've been putting off? And what is it that you've actually got on your 1-day list? You only have today, and today is actually the only day you are guaranteed. So why are you waiting? There's always a reason to wait till tomorrow, always. And if there's not a reason, I'm pretty sure we'll find one. If we can think of a reason to put something off till tomorrow, then we will. Now, look, I wasn't going to mention the C word on my podcast, which is coronavirus, because podcasts last forever and this too shall pass. But I kind of have to, because it's helping me make my point a little bit. If you're in Australia like me, then we are pretty much on the brink of lockdown as I record this episode. And if you're one of my amazing overseas listeners, then yay, shout out to you. You're probably already in lockdown. So it would appear that one day just might have come. The one day when you had time, had the headspace, had the space to think, to do, to act, it's kinda here. And if we head into lockdown, we are possibly going to have a fair bit of free time. Our biggest internet and phone provider actually had on social media this morning that they're giving out more data for free to, guess what? To watch more TV, to Google more, to be on social media more, because even they have recognized that one day has actually come. Or maybe we won't go into lockdown. Maybe one day hasn't knocked on our door just yet. But let's get serious about doing what you need or perhaps what you want to do. As a small business owner, we really get caught on working in our businesses and not on our businesses. And even when we work on them, it's not normally for growth strategies that we concentrate on. It's book work or general office work, and we call that working on our business. And of course, we all know in order for our business to grow, for it to be resilient no matter what Mother Nature or the world throws at us, we need to have growth strategies and a growth mindset in place. So your job today, not tomorrow or the next day, is to take the first step towards ridding yourself of those one-day jobs. Right, you with me? Okay, step 1, make a list. Not hard, promise you, make a list. If you had nothing to do today inside your business, but you could work on it and work on growth strategies, what would that look like? What does growth look like in your business? Perhaps you've never got around to building that website or putting the shopping cart on your website that you already have. Perhaps you've listened to podcasts just like this one and always dreamed of starting your own. Not because you want a podcast, but because you know it'll make a really big impact and is a great growth strategy for your business. Perhaps you know, because I tell you a lot, that you should be doing email marketing, but you just can't get around to making a plan at being consistent with doing it. And you're like, well, if I can't be consistent at it, I don't even want to start. So what is it? Press pause here if you have to and go and grab a pen and paper or maybe even the notes section on your phone and start writing down the list of jobs you would do if you had time. What have you been putting off for one day? Step 2, I want you to add 2 columns to that list. Column 1, who's responsible for it? Whose responsibility is it for getting that job on your one-day list ticked off? And the second column, of course, is the date that it has to be done by. If we don't date these things, then they can just go on forever. But if you've got, say, if we take the email marketing suggestion that you want to start doing email marketing because you know it will be a good growth strategy within your business, then you need to make a plan for that. Okay, so I'm going to press pause here. I'm going to have a look at my list and I am going to make sure that I'm responsible for it, perhaps you might say, and I'm going to have that plan done by the end of March. By the 31st of March. I hope there's 31 days in March now. I've recorded that. But anyway, if there's not, please forgive me. I was never very good at that sort of thing at school. But that's the date. So you are now accountable for that date. Step 3 is I want you to photocopy this list at least 4 times, and I want you to stick it around your workplace, in the toilet, at home in your office, at home in your toilet, or wherever you think it'll annoy the absolute crap out of you, because you have to look at it every single day until the point is that you actually do what the list has on it. Of course, there's lots more steps after step 2, but I truly believe that if you actually have the list, if you look at the list consistently enough, you will do it. You will find the person whose help you need to do it. You'll purchase that piece of tech required or hire the person who you know can get it done quicker than you, and you just will get it done. One of my favorite business sayings is, if you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always got. If you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always got. So without a growth mindset and growth strategies, you are simply like on a Ferris wheel that just keeps coming back to the exact point that you started every single time. So I guess what's on my lockdown list if we get locked down? Well, I've actually got a second podcast that's got the first season half done. So I will be finishing that and getting that out to the world, because perhaps people won't have anything to do except listen to podcasts like mine. And along with that second podcast comes a second website that's also in progress. So no doubt I will need to do some copy and some bits and pieces for that. The other thing that sits on my list, my one-day list, that perhaps isn't making it to the top quite as quickly as I would like, is affiliate marketing as a strategy. It really needs some attention inside my business, and I really want to take affiliate marketing out for a spin in 2020. And of course, I'm having live workshops cancelled left, right, and centre at the moment because of the C word. So I'm scheduling live webinars. It's kind of like, people who survive these things will be the people who can adapt the quickest. So for me, it's all about, okay, so I can't stand in front of the audience. Bang, what do I need to do? Let's change that up and get going. And you know what? If people have got lots of free time, maybe they will need some amazing marketing solution that I can give them over a live webinar. Okay, so no more one-day nonsense, okay? Pinky promise, this just can't keep happening. If it's important to your business, it will help your business grow, then we just need to do it. Schedule time and make it happen. In the words of my mentor, ready, fire, aim. The world doesn't need another small business owner aiming to do something. We definitely need more action takers. I believe that one part of small business that many people are missing is accountability. Accountability, I can tell you, my hand on my heart, is the reason why I have spent in excess of $30,000 in my small business life. Joining mastermind groups, face-to-face or virtual, to find people who will not only push me, challenge me, celebrate with me, but also hold me accountable. And it's been worth every single penny. I would not be where I am today without those masterminds and, more importantly, the people that I have met through them. So if you want accountability on your one-day list, then head into the Like-Minded Business Owners group, pledge your list with the date that they're due, with the date that the tasks are due, and we will, or at least I will, hold you accountable. Because again, what's that other saying? Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you're not already a member of the Like-Minded Business Owners community, then head to Facebook, search it up and join there. And I will see you in there to make your pledge. Of course, that is all for episode 64, a nice little short one this week. I have a great guest on the show next week. And wisdom is simply oozing out of that episode, so I can't wait to share that with you. I will be back next Thursday, of course, with that great episode and some more tips and tricks on how you can simplify your business in 2020. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would really love it if you would do me a favor or two and maybe subscribe to the podcast, because I have some exclusive content coming your way and only subscribers will be able to find it. Maybe you could even share this episode with a friend, another superstar business owner who's doing the daily grind. who would really appreciate someone making their business life a little bit simpler. And of course, I would love you to leave me a rating and a review if possible. Those things are like gold for podcasters like me. I will see you next week on the podcast for episode 65. But of course, in the meantime, let's hang out on social and get social on social. You can find me at Instagram at Small Business Made Simple, or of course, Facebook and my favorite, LinkedIn. And of course, remember, my small business peeps, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are.